Welcome in to the USL Weekend Preview. I'm very pleased to be joined by Chris Economides, Senior Director of USL Pro. And Chris, we've got 3 USL Pro games on the slate this weekend. First up on Saturday night, Richmond Kickers hosting the Pittsburgh Riverhounds at City Stadium, 7 p.m. on USLNation.com. And I know there's a couple of players that you're interested in looking at as they probably make their first appearances for their new clubs.
Yeah, very interesting match to start off the weekend, Nicholas, with Pittsburgh. Total remake on their roster from last year. One of the players that I'll be watching very closely this week will be Johnny Arteaga, who did very well with FC New York a couple years ago, was with Red Bull last year. And then from a Richmond perspective, we've got the Ronnie Pascal era being put to bed, and brand new goalkeeper there. Andrew Dykstra probably will get the nod there. We'll see how that game goes.
I mean, Dykstra did a great job for the Charleston Battery last season, helping them win a championship. I'm also interested for Pittsburgh to see Andrew Marshall, who's coming into them as a centre-back, played for the City Islanders, was a stalwart for the City Islanders for the last couple of seasons. So I think he'll probably help Hunter Gilstrap and that defence out a little bit on Pittsburgh's end. Sunday evening, we have our first interleague game of the season with VSI Tampa Bay FC going to visit the Portland Timbers reserves at Geldwen Field. Very interesting for VSI. They won their first game of the season on Tuesday at Los Angeles. How do they build off that against what is going to be a pretty strong, from what I can make out, Timbers reserves lineup?
I think they're going to fare very well. I'll go out on a limb here, but they put together. Clay Roberts and Matt Weston put together a really good roster there. Solid first 2 games. Could have had a much better draw in Phoenix in their opening game. Played very well in Los Angeles, and I think that they're going to expand upon that. They've had 4 or 5 days to rest, so I don't think fatigue will be a factor. Should be a very interesting match.
I think it'll be a good game. It'll be an interesting test because VSI's defence has looked very good. But now the Timbers have got some very good young players. Some players that I know from the PDL, such as Stephen Evans and Ryan Karulok, who have come up through the Timbers program. So it'll be interesting to see if they can test a VSI defence that's looked pretty solid so far.
Yeah, I mean, well, I'm curious to see the crowd in Portland. They draw unbelievably well, obviously for the Timbers there. Curious to see how they draw for the reserve team game. I'm expecting big things out of the game, and we'll be watching.
Now, later on Sunday night, Orlando City makes its first appearance of the season, and they're going out to the West Coast too. They're playing at Phoenix FC, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 7:30 p.m. Pacific Time on USLNation.com. Great test for Phoenix here. Have an Orlando team that's really flown through the preseason come out and see what the Wolves are made of.
Yeah, I love how we spaced the games. We got Saturday night. We've got Sunday, late afternoon, early evening, and then the icing on the cake is the 10:30 match. Should be a great match. Obviously, Phoenix with their season-opening sellout, with a great goal, their first goal in their history. Orlando, obviously, their record last year speaks for itself. I think that they've just reloaded and they're retooled to come back, be as strong, if not strong, if it's possible, to be even stronger than last year. So it'll be a true litmus test for the Phoenix Wolves.
Big challenge for Phoenix. Can they contain Dom Dwyer? He's on loan from Sporting Kansas City. He was really on fire during the preseason since arriving in Orlando. Big test for them defensively, for Andrew Webber and the back 4 in front of him. Both 2 of those games, Pittsburgh at Richmond on Saturday night and Phoenix against Orlando on Sunday night, can both be seen on USLNation.com. VSI Tampa Bay at the Portland Timbers Reserves can be seen on PortlandTimbers.com. We hope you enjoy the action and join us again next week.